Hello everyone, each of your subscriptions is a great motivation for me to continue sharing interesting and exciting videos. Please subscribe to the channel and follow the next journey. In the middle of the remote mountains and forests, where just one misstep can cost you your life, a woman still risks going deep into the forest to find precious medicinal plants. She is not an explorer, nor a professional forest ranger. She is the mother of a policeman. The wind howls, the leaves shake violently, each stone under her feet seems to betray her. But she still walks, because in front is the hope of saving people, and behind is death lurking every second. Early in the morning, the path was covered in white mist. Sinnhat quietly carried a bamboo basket and walked into the forest. Each cut of the knife into the vegetable roots seemed to open another wound in her heart. She bent down, picking each young vegetable, while tears fell on the leaves. Why can't I have children? That question haunted her every day, every night, like an invisible sentence. Over the years, Nat had tried everything, taking medicine, seeking treatment everywhere, listening to doctors, even believing in folk remedies. Every time she hoped, then was disappointed. She felt like she was falling into a bottomless pit. On the surface, Hang still hugged her, saying it's okay not to have children. But Nat knew, in his heart he still longed to hear children calling Dad. In the afternoons when she went to the market to sell vegetables, seeing young mothers holding their children, she felt her heart tighten. Many times, just a random question, when will you two have children, was enough to make her throat choke up, unable to speak. How could she answer, when she herself did not understand why she had fallen into this situation? After picking the last bunch of vegetables, Nat sat absent-mindedly by the stream, listening to the sound of flowing water, his heart empty. The road home was long, but what was longer were the years of waiting for a miracle that would probably never come in this lifetime. Sitting absent-mindedly by the stream, Sinnhat gently scooped up water to wash her face, hoping to dispel the sadness weighing on her heart. The cool water flowed through her fingers, carrying dry leaves, and suddenly, a small yellow object caught on her finger. She gently pulled it back. It was an old, discolored rattle, but still had the image of a small bear printed on it. Nat was silent. Her trembling fingers caressed the object, as if touching a world she had never had. The rattle's sound softly echoed in the empty space. The sound was small but seemed to penetrate straight into her heart. She imagined a child smiling, holding this rattle in his hand and babbling, "Mom." The image was so beautiful that just thinking about it made tears roll down her cheeks. She sat for a long time by the stream, hugging the toy to her chest as if afraid someone would take it away. In that moment, all the noise and gossip of the world seemed to disappear. Only she and a simple dream that has never come true for so many years. Nat knows that this bell may just be something someone dropped, but to her, it is a reminder that the dream of becoming a mother is still somewhere, waiting for her to step forward. Even though the road ahead is dark, she will still hold on to this item, as if holding on to the last fragile hope in her life. The sky had been at its zenith for a long time. The afternoon sun began to spread its golden light across the village road. Sinnhat carried an empty basket because she had sold all the vegetables and slowly walked home. In her hand, the old bell shook slightly, emitting weak sounds like a sigh. As soon as she reached the gate, she was stunned. Her mother-in-law was sitting on an old wooden chair, her head slightly bowed, her skinny hands tightly gripping the hem of her shirt. She had been waiting for a long time, because she did not have a key to the house. Hearing her daughter-in-law's footsteps, she looked up, smiling tiredly. But when her eyes stopped at the bell in Nat's hand, that smile stopped. Something flashed in her old eyes, both love and pity. "Where did you find it?" Her voice trembled slightly. Nat did not answer, just bowed his head, tightly holding the item in his hand, afraid that if he let go, he would lose the fragile warmth he had just found. She stood up, walking slowly closer. The sunlight shone on her wrinkled face. A thin hand placed on Nat's shoulder, the warmth trembling. "I know, you've suffered more than you said. Without you, it's not your fault." Those words seemed to touch the deepest layer of Nat's heart. Her tears fell onto the bell, the jingling sound mixed with her choked sobs. Her mother-in-law gently squeezed her shoulder, didn't say anything more, just hugged her for a long time. At that moment, in the middle of the small yard, two women quietly shared a pain without needing an explanation. Inside the house, the afternoon light shone through the crack in the door, dyeing the small kitchen yellow. Sinnhat put the basket in the corner, still holding the bell in his hand. His mother-in-law followed, her eyes never leaving the object. She sat down gently at the table, her voice deep. "This bell, I've seen it before." Nhat looked up, surprised. She touched the object lightly, her hand trembling. "Once upon a time, it belonged to a little girl. She went missing in the forest upstream when she was just learning to walk. The whole village searched for days, but no one found her." Her voice choked up. Nhat was silent, feeling this small object suddenly heavy in her hand. She continued, "I don't know why it's there today, but maybe it will lead us to something. Who knows?" She paused, her eyes sparkling with an indescribable hope. At that moment, in the quiet kitchen, the rattle seemed to carry an untold story, opening the door to a secret that neither of them could have expected. A moment later, when silence had fallen over the house, the mother-in-law stood up and quietly walked to the corner of the kitchen, where the old clay pot was. She took out a packet of dried herbal medicine from her cloth bag, the familiar pungent aroma spreading throughout the house. "I brought it back for you to drink before, hoping you would feel better. Who knows?" she said softly, her voice dropping. Clumps of dry leaves fell into the pot. The sound of boiling water resounded, as if recalling all the hopes and disappointments that had passed. And then today, that hope was rekindled once again. The mother-in-law placed the bowl of hot medicine in front of Sinnhat, her voice gentle. "Drink it, it will warm you up." Nhat took it, feeling the warmth spread through his cold hands. She sighed softly. "I got this from a house deep in the forest. They still keep more precious medicine." Before Nhat could ask, she had already tied the cloth bag tightly, her eyes determined. "I will go get it myself. You stay home and wait." Not having time to protest, Nhat only saw her figure disappear at the end of the alley, her hand still tightly holding the bell, as if carrying a fragile hope. Hang entered the house and saw Sinnhat sitting silently next to the bowl of medicine that was still steaming, his shoulders trembling slightly. He put down his hat, sat close to his wife, and gently held her hand. "Don't be sad anymore. We will work hard together to take care of our children. No one will give up." Nhat lowered his head, using signs for the mute to tell her that his mother had just gone into the forest alone to get precious medicine for him. Hang gently wiped away the tears on her cheeks, and continued, "You still have me, you still have your mother. No matter how difficult it is, we will overcome it." His warm words seemed to warm the kitchen, dispelling the heaviness in Nat's heart. After an hour, Mother Hang stood in front of the porch of the small house at the edge of the forest, the scent of traditional medicine wafting in the wind. The owner of the house, a middle-aged woman with sharp eyes, listened to her talk about her daughter-in-law's illness. She slowly shook her head. "That medicine is no longer available here. To get it, you have to go deep into the old forest, through the rocky stream and the Thursday slope. The road is very dangerous." She gently tightened the strap of her bag, her eyes determined. "I will go." She looked and sighed. Few people dare to go there, because of wild animals and deep ravines, but the warning did not move her. In her heart, the image of her thin daughter-in-law and her sad eyes still haunted her. She knew that, even if there was only a small glimmer of hope, she had to grasp it. The owner had no choice but to give her a cloth bag. Inside was some dry food and a jungle knife. "Go during the day, and remember to come back before dark." She nodded, turned, and stepped into the dim path hidden among the foliage, where the rustling of the forest wind seemed to signal the beginning of an arduous journey. The deep forest gradually became less and less bright. The sound of birds gradually gave way to the sound of wind whistling through the treetops. Mother Hang followed the slippery rocky slope, her eyes strained to find traces of medicinal plants. A small stone suddenly rolled under her feet, causing her to lose her balance. Her thin body rolled several times down the slope. Her hands were scratched, her knees were bleeding. The sharp pain spread throughout her back as if tearing every fiber of her flesh. Her right leg was numb and unsteady. She collapsed against the tree, gasping for breath, sweat and dirt mixing into a layer of mucus on her face. Her trembling hands still tightly held the cloth bag, containing the jungle knife and dry food, the only thing that held on to her hope. In her mind, the image of Sinnhat next to the bowl of medicine, his sad eyes like smoldering fire, made her grit her teeth and lean on her hands, mustering all her strength to stand up. "I can't go back empty-handed, ... she whispered. then limped further into the depths, where the shadow of the forest seemed to swallow all sounds. Under the dense forest canopy, the humidity rose heavily. The wet and slippery ground seemed to be oiled. Mother Hang bent over to part each bush, her eyes searching for the distinctive green color of the precious medicinal plant. But as soon as she stepped onto a mound of earth, the ground suddenly collapsed. She stumbled, her body rolling a few more times, each impact causing her back to break in half, her left leg to ache so much that she lost feeling. She lay still, gasping for breath, her throat choked by the pain and the pungent smell of rotting leaves. Every time she tried to move, each vertebra felt like it was being cut by a knife. Her legs twitched and refused to obey. Cold sweat poured out, mixed with dust and blood, but her eyes were still looking forward. Must find the medicine. That weak whisper seemed to cling to the last bit of strength.